Okay, go ahead.
I'll introduce myself hopefully. Alright, so my name is Samantha. I coach in a modeling and acting school called Pima. It's also an agency. We take care of talent. If they have any questions regarding paperwork, making sure they get their money on time, we try and take care of that. We'll also communicate as a third person for the young up-and-coming model or actress with the companies to facilitate a smooth transition into their new job. I personally coach young and old people, all ages, on the different types of modeling that are out there in the world. Everything from promotions to glamour to runway to just anything that sells. That's the whole thing about modeling. It's a selling job. So I kind of get people in the mindset, you know, how to work in what they have, combine it with what the company wants, and be able to make a living with it.
How did you get involved in it?
What was that?
How did you get involved in it?
How to get
involved? I was cocktail waitressing at a nightclub, and a young man was doing David's web page and said that I should start taking the classes here. I was already a promotional model. I got work through a couple of agencies that got me in touch with a couple of different companies, and I promoted their products on the side of the road at festivals and in stores. And through David, I took a modeling course. David St. John is the owner of the school, and that's why I took the modeling and acting course. And after 150 hours, he asked me if I wanted to stay in the school, if he liked to have me here, and I said, yeah. He's like, would you mind coaching these young models on runway and pose since you've passed the thing? So now I'm a coach here on Saturdays. It's all about getting out there and talking with people. It's about really, you know, you have an idea or you have a want or something, you tell people what your ideas and your wants are. Somebody might tell you, hey, I got this person, or I know this person. That's really how you get into the industry.
Did you do modeling since you were a little kid?
I started modeling in my mid-20s, actually. Yeah, so I know a lot of models. I mean, if you really want to be big in the industry, you want to start really young, because you can always play older, but it's really hard to play younger. You know what I mean? So, what was that?
What do you mean by play?
So modeling is acting, because you're putting on, yeah, modeling is acting. So to play younger is to, or to play older, is like to play dress up, okay? So you put on a costume that says, look, I look 21 and I'm really only 16. Or hey, look, I look 16 and I'm really 21. You know, like now 210 used to cast 23-year-olds to play, you know, 18-year-olds. Or I say by the Bell, that's what I was thinking of. You know, they played younger. And it's good to start off really young, because once you're in, I mean, the career is just great. I mean, they want to cast you young because you'll have, at a younger age, you pick up what they want faster. Kids are so on it. I love coaching kids, because they really pick up on what, you know, needs to be done.
Yep, kids are wonderful.
Kids are wonderful. They learn at an exponential rate. Like, you know, an adult, they're set in their manners. Yep. Adults are way set in their structure. Anything else you'd like to know?
What's easy about teaching? What's hard about it?
What's easy about changing?
About teaching.
Teaching. So what's easy about teaching?
Yeah, what's hard about it?
And,
What
and what's
part
hard?
is easy?
And what's hard?
And what's hard? So I do a lot of work with my students, and the work that's the hardest is breaking bad habits. That is the hardest. I gotta say, the easiest stuff would be setting up a class and, getting people involved, but really the hardest part is breaking bad habits. So a lot of people who do runway work. Anyways, a lot of people who walk normally. So they're walking and they're walking funny, they're bobbing their head, they're wiggling their arms, or they're keeping them tight at their side, or they're wiggling their fingers, or they're pulling at their clothing. And when they're trying to sell a product, all those little tiny movements are really noticeable by the audience. The audience sees you fidgeting, and they can't see what you're trying to get across in the face because they're watching your hands fidget. So it's breaking bad habits. It's repetitive, the repetitiveness. That's the hardest part. Stop, do it again. Stop, do it again. Stop moving your hands. In my bag, I make some of my students wear these arm bracelets. They're weights. Wanna hold that for a second? Feel the weight on that? And it's a heavy, it's like a metal weight inside here, and it keeps them from not recognizing their hands. It's so easy to forget your arms are there. And some people walk like this here, one arm swings heavily, so I'll weight that one arm, and they'll realize, oh, that arm is way out here now. And they'll start walking evenly back and forth. So that right there is the hardest. Telling people that they have bad habits.
I need to work this camera person, but I'm trying.
Because a lot of people don't want to hear that they have bad habits, especially people who want to be models. They already think they're perfect, and it's not quite yet. Stop bobbing your head when you walk, please. And stuff like that. I speak a lot with gesture, so I move around a lot. I'm fidgety. Anything else you'd like to know?
I can't think of anything.
Anything else anybody else would like to ask? Yeah, your sister's name is
Angie.
Angie? Angie, is there anything you'd like to, you have any questions regarding the modeling industry, or? No, not exactly. Not exactly? So, Todd mentioned that you wanted to get into the industry, that there were places that you could go to help sell the things that people like yourself need. One, transportation devices, using a wheelchair, communication devices, clothing, special apparel, and this kind of stuff. And if you really want to get into it, it's amazing area to get into. It's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of really fun, flamboyant people like myself. And if you really want to do something like this, I would do your homework. I would find out what these companies are. When you know what the companies are, find out who, the hard part is to find out who does all of their advertisement. Yep.
That is awful.
Yeah, that is the hard part, finding out who does the company's advertisement. And once you find out who does the company's advertisement, you can find out who does all the interviews. And from there, you just kind of get the ball rolling. You meet one person, you let them know what you want to do for them, find out what they need. If they're doing any catalog work, they need a model to sit or a model to stand, if you can stand. If they need a model to, gesture some way, to hold something up, show easy access to something. That's all modeling. Sometimes all a model does is put her hand in a frame. She just puts her hand in there and holds something. And what she's selling is a phone, Sometimes all they need is a face shot with the product in it. Like these really cool little tablets you have here with the Velcro on them. The company was selling these tablets with the Velcro on them, doing something like reaching for it in a shot, put that in a magazine that specializes to it. They make money doing that, and if you get a good, and they'll take like 500 shots. and only 1 in 500 is ever good. That's the real fact behind modeling. They seriously take 500 shots of you with whatever article of clothing, whatever property, whatever it is, and then 1 goes into the catalog. You know. So yeah, just find out who is doing what. Focus on, you know, what direction you want to do. If you want to do modeling work, focus on what direction you want to go in. If you want to do catalog work, if you want to do spokes work, spokes work is a lot of what I do, and it's really hard to do spokes modeling. It takes a lot of energy. Spokes modeling. Have you ever been to a trade show, like one of those big buildings, and they have like Christmas trade shows at the Expo Center or anything? What was that?
She's heard about it, but she's never been.
Heard about it. All right. Let's say the boat show. Okay, the boat show. They'll have a bunch of companies bringing in their boats. All right. The spokesperson will then stand there with the company's product, talk with the people walking by, and let them know everything they know about that boat. So they don't just stand there in lines and read paperwork. This person is doing, giving the information out, doing it with a smile, doing it with pizzazz. It's really hard work because you're on your feet for many, many hours and you're smiling and repeating yourself over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So, but no, you can do catalog work. If you get a hold of the right people, you find the right products you'd like to represent. It's a possibility. You could also do clothing if you found the right company and the right products to represent.
Well, I think this was fun and helpful. Thank you, Samantha.
All right. Yes, of course.